On this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
vein of things, so you're an interesting use case for a metaverse that everybody's trying to like push towards. And I've always thought that there were certain demographics where like in music in particular where let's be fucking real, sometimes what you look like actually does prevent your success. There are people
Yeah.
that should have popped but the prettier person did, and that's a huge part of life. But what happens when it's avatars and nobody fucking really sees you and you're just like, cause yo, look at like dudes like Dead Mouse, where frankly nobody gives a fuck what he looks like, cause he's a fucking guy with a mouse helmet.
Right. Yeah, I think I think that actually reminds me of some cases where that was like I don't know if you know about R.A. the Rugged Man when he was first
Absolutely.
coming out. Yeah,
He
yeah,
was he was
legend.
doing some dumb shit though.
But when he first came out, like when he was on Jive and he was under Crustified Dibs, like they wanted to not like show his face on anything. Not the don't put your face on the 12-inch singles. Don't put your face on the album. But what was that song? Bloody Axe, like in the video, and they wanted to have him like all wrapped up and shit. And then like at the end of the video, you actually see that he's a white dude because like back then, because if you listen to R8, like he's from Long Island, and you listen to his shit, you really wouldn't be able to tell if he was white or black.
I
And
just knew he was white when I heard him, so I never had that version of him. But I suppose,
maybe it's what did you hear the later part of his
yeah,
career?
I found out about his early part of his career on YouTube, watching like Method Man talk about how he got blackballed and Method Man couldn't
Yeah,
save
that
him.
video was funny as fuck too.
It's like Method Man's like, this is the first time they ever said no to me. I wasn't used to that, and I was like, say a word.
We are
That must
not
have been,
fucking with R-rated Rugged Man.
and I'm
The man's
like,
got skid marks on his underwear. Like that video was funny as shit.
yo, but like he did some wild, he like admits it, but he used
He
to
was
do shit
wildin'.
like running around the clubs and jack off on people. Like he is the guy that
Yeah.
did that to people, and he did that in like a literal capacity. And their labels were like, I don't think we can touch this talented motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, he came from a very, very rough, you know, Agent Orange fucked up his family quite a bit, and it's just like, you know, it's tough, and it's amazing to see him kind of bounce back to where he's like this amazing. And I always liked RA, even like his early wild shit, but like, he's such like he's a full like artist, like respected artist now, and he's actually putting out a really great body of work, and but yeah, what was I saying? What were we talking? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they didn't
Aesthetics.
want to show that he was white at first, and I can't think of any. What else? I think Wu Tang had like the ski masks on their album cover, but I don't think that was because of that. I think it was because
Nah, I think I've like I don't know if this is true, but like I heard as an example, like Ghostface had a warrant at one point, so they were trying to like half cover his
yeah, he
face,
he wasn't
shit
trying
like
to. Yeah, he
that,
was.
or like on the cover, like they just didn't have enough of the woos, so it's all like sound engineers and like people because there's like 7 dudes on that first cover, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not 9 of them, so like
Because I believe You God was. I don't know if he was in jail when 36
yeah,
Chambers came out, but one of them was not. One of them was not there.
yeah. So it's like you look at that situation and you're like, okay, and then because I would just watched American Sanga and Rizzo was telling his mom how like an engineer's fucking hands is out and he's not even on the cover, and so I'm gonna assume that that's it. But I know I've read about it before, and they were just dealing with the circumstances, so they took everybody who was in the room and they covered everyone's faces, so you couldn't really tell who the WuTang Clan, and it kind of added to the
Right.
lore. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
definitely like they didn't have everybody in the room type thing, so they work with what they had. Is my understanding of that situation. But I just thought about like the whole aesthetic thing. Like, let's say you become an avatar now. Now it doesn't really matter what you look like because somebody just designs your fucking avatar and you do exactly the same shit.
Right.
Build an entire audience around avatars. And I know this isn't appealing to like the whole world, but like it wasn't lost on me when I was a lot fatter that if I wasn't fatter I would do better.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't lost on me, and so like sometimes like especially when I was younger I'd like fantasize about this world where this avatar universe existed quicker, because then it would just be like, yo, I could be this crazy ass artist and nobody would know what the fuck I look like and I'd probably pop
Right.
off more. And I don't know how true that is or not, but it started
I think for
getting
some
me.
people it does work because I think like sometimes role like especially when you're dealing with like hyper mainstream music, a lot of people have like I feel like if your image, if your look goes along with like if it fits like a glove with the like when M came out, like he was the fucking blonde haired, the fucking t-shirt, like he's just looking crazy, right? And his image fit like his early records, like because it was crazy because that's really the environment that he came out of, you know, and it kind of added like to his shock value when he first came out. But
Mm,
I think some people can play like it's also how you kind of manipulate and shape the mis- the mis- the mystery whatever the fucking word is mysterious, you know, kind of like Doom is obviously a classic example. Um, Daft Punk, because people didn't know what they looked like for a while. Um, and they
yeah,
kind of had like a whole
or
lore. I think
or that.
Gorillas would qualify in that category too.
I think people knew who they were though. Like they knew who they were, but like it just didn't matter to people, right? Because like they were already famous. Like there was the dude from Blur and like some other journalist guy. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, it's Gorillas. It might not be Blur, so if I'm wrong, don't come at me. I just
yeah.
know
I'm not.
it's like
I'm not completely sure
one of
either.
them British fucking bands that was like in that era. So like they was like already established, and then Del the Funky Homo Sapien was rolling with them for a quick minute. So like again, all established fucking people, and they were just creating an art project. But it's an I think Prozac is a better example because Prozac was 40-year-old white dudes that became musicians, so they hid behind that fact by being these little fucking cartoons.
Right.
I don't know if you know Prozac. They might be Canadian.
Nah, never heard of them.
They're like two cartoon dudes. And because back in the day, Canadian laws used to force people to listen to more Canadian shit, so you would just get more Canadian shit. And Prozac is a byproduct of that. And I think a whole bunch of Canadians know exactly what I'm talking about. And it might, maybe we should like fucking give love to Prozac on this channel and let people know how good Sucks to Be You really is.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I was gonna say though, when you brought up Dell, I instantly thought of Cool Keith, who has like a fucking shitload of different um personas. People know what he
Imagine,
looks like
okay,
though.
so imagine that dude with the access to the metaverse, with his imagination and what he
Right.
could do with live shows. Like he could just perform and have it set up in a way where all of these fucking characters that he creates are on stage as manifestations, and you can like more, you wild shit that you
Yeah.
just can't fucking do in real life, whether or not you want that. That's not the point. And I even want to replace the other, but like that's the whole other side, is the creative output potential of like fully immersive fucking experiences for music is wild to me.
Yeah. And I guess I couldn't really do it because it's just like my music is like so much a reflective of how I feel and what I think and the things that I as an individual, you know, my entire life. So it's just me creating a character, like creating a bunch of characters and shit is actually more of a challenge for me because music is just an extension
Well,
of who I am, you know what I mean?
you can still just be an avatar of you being yourself. That's still also an option. That's the
Yeah.
thing that's wild about it. On that, they're gonna get to a point, and Facebook's fucking learning how to do this. They're gonna be able to upload a picture of yourself, and your avatar is gonna look like you, down to like body shape and shit. So like, trust, they're working on that. That's coming.